Hi, beloveds. This is Tamala, your empowerment partner, professor, and psychic. And today we're going to talk about, does life really have to be so hard? And ignore my printer there. I was just printing some stuff and it's making its lovely little, I've finished printing noises just as we're going live because things happen, right? That's the way life is right now. And so today's topic about life is hard. Does life have to be so hard? And if it is hard, can I change it? Okay. So sit back, get yourself something to drink, and we're going to do the intro and we'll be right back to get started. All right. So today we are really going to dig into our human experience. Okay. And the idea that we have created an experience as a human race that being a human has to be hard. It has to be difficult. It has to be fraught with fighting or anger or hate or wars. That it has to be full of disease or sickness or injuries. That it has to be filled with drama or trauma. Okay? And I'm going to give you some examples of different aspects of this and kind of see if it gives you something to think about this week. So, the Earth experiment originally was not designed to be a place of suffering. It is created, designed, and optioned to be a space of choice. Okay? We came here to learn how to choose and to choose wisely and to figure out how to be in relationship with other people as individuals and maintain our own energetic boundaries and maintain our own power structures and our own parameters without subjecting or submissing ourselves to others, become less than, giving our power away, not making decisions or choices because of fear of what other people may think, and so forth. Okay? But that's what it turned into. It turned into all of those things because of choices that we made to disempower ourselves, to give our power away, to submit to other people's thoughts and emotions, to make ourselves less than, to buy into misaligned religious perspectives of subjugation as being holy. All of those things have created an experience for us that is less than optimal for most people on the planet. And so we know that when we're working with dimensions, and if you've done any work with me or been part of my community or followed any of my videos, I've talked a lot about the dimensions. Third dimension is our physical body and our physical experience. Fourth dimension is our thoughts, and the emotions bridge our third and fourth dimensions. But usually I just say, to make it easy, the emotions are in the fourth. But it's physical body, emotional body, mental body, right? That's how it works. And then our spiritual body. Okay? Third dimension, physical experience. Fourth dimension, emotions and thoughts. Fifth dimension is our spirit, our higher self, our guides, our Akashic records, our connections to source, and so forth. Okay? So originally, when we came down through all the dimensions and we got to the fifth dimension and we decided that we wanted to be in a physical body and incarnate, whether it was on this planet or another planet, we do that in order to create opportunities for choice. And so when we come into a life, then we make choices. And if we make choices that are not aligned to who we are at soul level, then they separate us from our divinity. And those separations can feel like abandonment, can feel like ruptures, can feel like breakdowns of structures. It can feel like blocks and restrictions. It can feel like being alone. Like there's all kinds of things that it can feel like, this separation from our own divinity that we create through choice. And I'm kind of summarizing this right now because I've talked about this a lot in my other videos and in my coursework. So, knowing that the earth was created so that we could be at choice, and we've made choices in the past that have separated ourselves from our own divinity because we gave our power away. We got into energetic entanglements with other people that were not supportive. We created contracts and so forth, right? Things that were not useful for us. And so we got disempowered and disempowered, which is more separation, more separation, more separation, more separation, more separation, right? It just continues. And so what we find is as we make choices on the spiritual level, then we make choices in our thoughts, then we make choices in our emotions, and then we make choices in our physical body. That's how it works. Okay? So when we make choices in our physical body, when our physical experience, when I say body, it also means our experience as a human being, then those experiences also become consequences for us, right? We get a result. We make a choice, we get a result. And so then that result then resonates on all of our dimensions because what happens in one dimension happens in all. So when we make a choice in our third dimension human experience to disempower ourselves, then it disempowers us at the emotional level, at the mental level in our thoughts, and then at the spiritual level. Okay? And so when we don't resolve these things and we die and then we come back, we're still functioning inside those same disempowered paradigms until we make a different choice. So we have had lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of making choices that some were aligned and some were not aligned, and some were aligned and some were not aligned, and 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 aligned, and not aligned, and not aligned, and aligned. And we've just got ourselves into a state where now being a human is fundamentally hard. And I'm going to give you an example of what that means. We have created a physical body experience that has to function in trauma in order to thrive. Okay? And here's a couple of examples. If your adrenals are not working well, or you want to jumpstart your adrenal system or your systems of your body, you take a cold shower, or you jump into cold water, or you shock your system. Okay, what you do is you put your body into a state of self-protection. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Okay, that's trauma. We traumatize ourselves to boot up our systems so that they function optimally. Okay? That's not healthy. That's not, it has turned into a state of health, right? That's what makes us healthy now because we've made all of these choices that disempowered us. So we've created an experience where now we have to put our bodies in a state of trauma in order to be healthy. Okay? That's how messed up this is. That's how far we have screwed up the human condition. We have to put our bodies in trauma in order for them to be healthy. Okay, another example is you take these really harsh scrub brushes and you scrub your skin, right, to stimulate and get blood flow to them so that your skin is healthy. Or you put that high hyaluronic acid on your face. You give yourself a chemical burn on your face to get layers of skin off so that you have fresh baby skin on your face. Trauma, okay? We are traumatizing our bodies to be healthy. We go on these restrictive diets that traumatize our bodies. We go on diets that create ketosis or fasting where it's not a healthy fast, right? We do things we eat foods that are not healthy for us. We restrict foods that are healthy for us. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Okay? Trauma. We have to rip our muscles when we're exercising in order to build them up again to be strong. It's trauma. So we have created a human experience where in order for us to be healthy, we have to harm ourselves. Think about that. That's how messed up the human condition is right now. And so, does that resonate with ease and flow? Does that resonate with positive choice? Hold on, my puppies are in here. Does it resonate with enlightenment? Does it resonate with unity and human kindness and our cup overflowing with abundance? No, it resonates with trauma, with harm, with self-destruction and self-destructive behavior. And so it's no wonder that we have such difficulty of holding those dualities together when it's not possible. Remember, two opposites cannot hold the same space at the same time. Okay? Polarities are not the same thing. They're opposites of each other. You can't have thriving and trauma at the same time and be cohesive and be integrous and be honorable. Okay? Can't happen. So, what do we do? What do we do to fix this? We have gotten our energetic systems, and both my puppies are playing, that's what you hear in the background. We've got our energetic systems, our spiritual systems, our thought processes, our emotional systems, and our physical bodies so deeply disempowered that we have to harm ourselves in order to heal or to thrive. How do we change that? Well, the first thing we have to do is we have to consider, is this okay with me? Am I happy with this? Am I okay with having to do self-harm in order to thrive? Well, I'm not. I'm not. And I haven't been for a while. And that's why I got these chunky arms and this chunky belly right now. Because it's like, look, I'm not going to harm myself anymore. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to love myself into health. Okay? I'm not going to see doctors that are misaligned for me. I'm not going to put myself in situations where I have to harm myself in order to heal, because that doesn't resonate with me as far as abundance and integrity and consciousness and sacredness and honoring myself as a holy being. Okay? Just doesn't. So I began to start thinking about, okay, are my thoughts aligned with integrity, with abundance, with peace, with self-love? Are my emotions filled with self-love and abundance and peace and joyousness? Are my actions filled with self-love and abundance and peacefulness and joyfulness? Because remember, in order for us to be an integrous being, where all of our faculties are focused and moving towards the same goal so we can actually get there, our thoughts, emotions, words, and actions all have to be aligned. So are my words aligned with self-love and joy and compassion and fun and all of these things that I want to have in my life? And so what we want to do is we want to pick the easiest path, right? The less traumatic path first, and start doing that one. So if it's easier for you to think things than feel things, then start thinking. If it's easier for you to feel things than think things, then start feeling. Okay. But what we want to do is we want to get ourselves to the point where we're feeling, thinking, speaking, and doing the same things with the same resonance. And you're going to get to choose what that resonance is. Is that resonance going to be self-love? Is it going to be compassion for yourself? And remember, this is all about you. It's not about the world right now, because we got to heal ourselves before we can heal the world. Okay, so be clear on that. If we're just pouring into the world and we're not pouring into ourselves, we're going to be depleted. The world's not going to change, and we're going to be in sickness, illness, injury, or disease. And we don't want that. That also is not life and abundance and joy and health and self-love. Okay? So we're starting with us. And in starting with us, we get to decide, okay, what is it that I want to feel? For me, it's self-love. Okay, what does self-love look like for me? It means taking a nap when I want to take a nap. It means setting my schedule so that I can work at the times that are most supportive for me, right? Not getting up at 6 a.m. because that is not my time. Working until 2 a.m. is my time because that's when I'm most awake and aware and connected. So I set my working schedule, boys. So I set my working schedule to be that. See, they're playing. Oh, look, this is a great example of duality. We're over here talking peace, and they're over there play fighting, right? They're play fighting. It's a wonderful example as well of what we do in this world. Being here and play is also fighting, right? We argue and fight in our relationships, and then when we have wild, passionate make-up sex. Why don't we just have a adult conversation and have wild, passionate make-up sex? Why do we have to go through the trauma and drama first? We don't have to. But we have books that tell us we have to, right? We have programmed relationships of what's romantic and what's inspiring and what brothers do and all of these things, because they're actually brothers. And they love to play fight with each other. It's part of their play activity. They also love to sleep touching each other. And it's a very wonderful thing. They snuggle up and they play, but they also do this fighting thing. And so they're not, they're both, if you could see them, their mouths are just open. Hold on, I'm going to, boys, come here. Come here. Come here. Everybody wants to see your nonsense. Everybody wants to see your nonsense. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because you're being a great example. You're being a great example right now. You're being a great example. Look at there. Look at there. They are an armful of puppy love. And they're still puppies. They're about 13 weeks now. But even their duality, the way that they play, is a direct reflection. Our pets are a direct reflection of the state of the world around us, and even our states in some ways. And so knowing that we are living in an experience of duality, knowing that play has also been fighting, gives us an ability to really stop and think, what about my life have I taken the perspective of fighting and playing being the same thing or being good? Or in order for me to have passion, I have to have the argument first. In order for me to be passionate about something, a belief or a perspective, then I have to fight about it or yell about it or stand up to somebody about it or be aggressive about it, right? Think about it. What are all of the experiences? And I got to tell you, when you do start thinking about it, you're going to have a shocking list. Oh, a shocking list of, gosh, I fight with my husband about this. And after we fight, I expect so-and-so to happen. Or when I get really heated about something that I want to stand up for, that I really believe in, that I want to impact in the world, I feel like I have to fight about it or argue about it or yell about it, or my voice gets louder when I talk about it. Or, gosh, I feel like when I want to stand up to people, I either have to shut my mouth and not say anything, which is disempowerment, or I have to yell and be angry to be heard. And I want you to think about all the experiences in your life, and your thoughts, your emotions, your words, and your actions. How do I talk about this? How do I think about this? How do I feel about this? What do I do about this? Because one of those things may be how it's showing up for you. You may speak good about your finances. You may work and hustle and do all the things that you think you're supposed to do about your finances, but you're still thinking poor. You're still thinking, I have to work hard, I have to suffer, I have to sacrifice in order to be able to make money. Okay? That's not going to make your money, because money is aligned with ease. It's not aligned with hard work. That also is a confusing duality. The most money I made in 2019 was the 6 weeks I was in Europe on vacation. I worked 4 hours in 6 weeks and made more than I did the previous 4 months. I worked 4 hours. Okay? Money flows with ease. In 2020, the same thing. When I stopped trying to make money, it flowed in. I stopped trying to make any money the middle of November, and I made more money from November and December than I made in the previous 6 months. Money follows ease. That's the way it works, because money is simply energy. And we forget that, and we try to do things hard. We try to push them and force them and agonize through them and sacrifice to get them and work hard and hustle. And it doesn't mean you can't be passionate. You can't put in the hours to complete your work or to get on and do lives or whatever. But it means it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be sacrifice. It doesn't have to be fighting something. It doesn't have to be self-destructive. And the only way that we're going to change the human condition from self-destruction to thriving is by changing our own individual thoughts, emotions, words, and deeds around our own confusion around self-love versus self-destruction. Okay, we think if I go on this really bad restrictive diet or this really intense restrictive diet, I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to feel so much better. Well, I can tell you from my own experience, every restrictive diet I've gone on, I've gotten really sick during the diet. And when I stopped the diet, not only did I gain the weight back that I had from the beginning, right, the amount that I wanted to lose, I went back to that, plus I gained 10 or 15 pounds afterwards. And so the world is designed right now the way that the human condition has designed it. We have conditioned our experience to be difficult. And we have to uncondition it if we want it to be different. That means we have to uncondition us. We have to uncondition our lives, ourselves, so that then the experience around us can be different. Now, these precious little puppies, they play, they laugh, they're playing with toys. They're also teething, so they chew on everything right now too, which is part of the fighting thing, I think. But there's an innocence there that also reflects the idea that even in innocence, we think there has to be some kind of friction, some kind of struggle, some kind of fight, some kind of primitiveness in order to be able to thrive here. And it's just not true. All we have to do is to change and align our thoughts, emotions, words, and deeds with who we are at soul level, and to start thriving on purpose. And I say all we have to do. That's a lifetime worth of work. That is constant work. monitoring our thoughts, monitoring our emotions, monitoring our words, monitoring our actions. It's not easy, but it is easy if you know that that's the formula. That's the formula. Thoughts, words, emotions, and actions aligned with who I am at soul level. That's the formula. Now, doing it is the more difficult part, the implementation. But you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. You can do it in a way that is thriving and supportive and within your metabolic capacity, because you wouldn't be listening to this message right now if you couldn't do it. That's another thing you need to understand. The information that comes into your experience comes because it is aligned for you. So if you are listening to this, this is planting a seed in you for you to consider and see experiences like these puppies who are playing, who love each other more than anything in the world, and have actually a little bit too much because they have some separation anxiety when you take them apart from each other. But they also still fuss and bicker among the others. They play like that. They play rough. They're playing rough, and then one of them gets hurt, and then they're mad at each other for a second. We do that. We do that to ourselves. We do that inside of ourselves. So let's start thinking about how we are being our own, not just self-saboteur, right? Because we do self-sabotage a lot, but also our own torturer, our own self-destructive person. How are we doing that to ourselves? By putting ourselves in situations where we think we have to suffer or sacrifice, where we think we have to argue, that we have to fight, that we have to have trauma or drama in order to succeed, where we think we have to rip our muscles down so we can build them back up, or we have to pour acid on our body or scrub off our skin in order to be healthy, or we have to jump into freezing water and make our body terrified it's going to die in order for it to start functioning optimally. How can we change that? To be just, hey, I woke up today. It's awesome. It's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful day to be in this energy. It's a wonderful day to observe these puppies playing and having a good time, and knowing that any minute one of them's going to yip and then they're going to be mad at each other. And be observing that and think, one of these days I'm going to change my experience so much, see, that they're not going to have that experience anymore. I'm going to change my experience to the point where beings, even puppies, can't be in conflict around me. How magnificent is that going to be? And I got to tell you, I'm not there yet. Of course I'm not. If I was, I probably wouldn't still be in a body. But I work on it all the time. And this idea of harming ourselves in order to thrive has got to change. It's got to. We cannot function in that anymore if we want to continue to create 5D unity consciousness on this planet, which is where we're going, that Christ consciousness. We cannot get there through self-harm. It can't be done. It's got to be self-love. And so leave in the comments, let me know how it is that you're going to work on identifying areas of your own self-destructive behavior and things that you want to change. And it can be as simple as, drinking too many sodas, or for me, eating sugar. Okay, it could be thinking about duality to the point where I don't know which side I'm on. Okay, that's been a big one for light workers. Oh, there's duality here, duality there, and I don't know which one is right, and so I don't want to make a choice, and so I'm going to be neutral. I'm going to be neutral. You're not being neutral. You're either on the side of the evolution of the planet or you're not. There is no neutrality, right? That's a cop-out. That is spiritual bypassing. that is saying you're spiritual but not really doing anything, right? Neutrality is a place that we go to make decisions. Then we come out of that space of neutrality and actually do something with those decisions that we made. So that's important to understand. So the consequence of all these lifetimes of disempowerment, of submissiveness, of self-sabotage has really created this experience of trauma. And we're going to have to actively choose to change it. So let me know what you're going to change. Let me know if anything here was interesting to you. Share this with anyone who could benefit. Remember, I do this every Friday at 1:11 p.m. Eastern. And Monday, I'm live on Instagram at 1:11 p.m. then Eastern Time. And so if you want to follow me, these are the places that you can find me. On Facebook, our Facebook group is Your Empowerment Party. Instagram, Tamala Yep, Twitter, Tamala Yep, and Facebook page, also Tamala Yep. So I look forward to seeing you next time. I'm really excited to hear what comes up for you, because the more that we discuss this kind of stuff, the more that we can see what's coming up for each of us. So I love you very much, and I look forward to seeing you next time.